Okay, so this syllabus point is right at the beginning of Unit 3, and it's part of the suite of points around factors driving global business development. In this case, it's to do with deregulation of financial markets. So the definition, as you can see there, it is about removing barriers, legislative barriers, so that's the government. Remember, this is not free trade, this is financial deregulation. They are two different concepts, really. So in this case, it's removing legislative restrictions or removing laws which relate to the operation of banks and intermediaries in the financial sector. In Australia and around the world, this really began in the 1980s. Some call it neoliberalism. It's where the Australian government basically opened up our financial sector by removing laws in terms of the operation of banks within Australia, and also they floated the Australian dollar, which had an impact on our trade position. So as you can see there, this process of deregulation did go on for quite a while, and still to this day continues both in Australia and around the world, and it has allowed for greater competition in the market. It has allowed both financial sector businesses and others to really take advantage of global capital around the world, increasing customer bases in the countries that Australian and other businesses can move into. And a big one down the bottom there, deregulating the market also allowed a significant increase in foreign investment, which benefited Australian business. So you can see there, this is linking back to the question because you have to understand what financial deregulation is, but you also need to explain how it has driven global business development. So it says there, as you can see, it has led to a larger customer base. It has allowed Australian businesses to be more cost effective when expanding globally because the financial system is now, a lot more competitive. It's less regulated. It has allowed for improvements in efficiency. It has made it a lot easier for Australian business to operate overseas. It has allowed for the growth of Australia's financial sector, in particular the big four banks. Foreign direct investment, is incredibly important to Australian business and the overall Australian economy. So here is a sample question from a past waste paper, and we've broken down the responses you'll see into three separate parts. This is the 3-mark response. So again, the key thing here is the question, the verb at the beginning of the question really tells you to what extent or to the depth you have to respond. So in this case, the question asks you to explain. So explain is more difficult than describe or stating a fact or even listing or things like that. So reading through it there, so generally I would suggest that we always start with a definition or defining any concepts first before then explaining the concept in detail, and always remember to make a link back to the question, because the key part of the question is not actually necessarily about deregulation, it is about how it drives global business development. So you can see without reading through the entire answer there, it's really done in 3 parts. If you wanted to compare that with the 2-mark response, generally describe is not done as well, and you can see in that response there is no link back to the overall overall intent of the question, which is really how deregulation drives global business development. And the 1-mark response, which really is just stating a fact, could be a definition, it could just be one other point of relevant information about financial deregulation. So yeah, there we go. I hope that has helped your revision about that concept. If you're interested in more revision videos or tutoring, feel free to send us an email using the contact form on the website, or you can actually book directly through that, or have a look at our Facebook page. Thanks very much.